Hi, welcome back to the Luxe Leap podcast. We are so excited to have you. If this is your first time listening, this is a podcast all about women consultants and their brand journeys and how they got to where they are today and where they are taking it to help you really start to move through the landmines that are owning a business and grow your consulting agency in a really great and impactful way. Again, if this is our first time meeting, my name is Réland. I am the host and owner of Gray Digital Marketing, and I am so excited to introduce you to today's guest. So my guest today is Kamila Adamatti. She is the CEO of Tone Up Business Consulting, specializing in change management, leadership, and strategic planning. With more than 24 years of experience working with international corporations, Kamila supports senior leaders in guiding teams through transformations. She uses practical strategies and effective communication to keep teams engaged and motivated. With a deep understanding of diverse cultural insights and perspectives, her dynamic leadership approach has been key in guiding organizations through complex global challenges and changes, fostering a culture of adaptability and resilience. So I am so grateful to bring on my friend and can't wait for you to hear her beautiful story. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. So happy to be here.
Well, we're excited to just hear your story and drive this change forward, especially as right now life is changing at a rapid rate. That's what we're going to say, especially here in the States and honestly all over the world. But before we dive into anything along those lines, we want to know, inquiring minds want to know, my friend, what inspired you to start your brand? Just give us a brief Reader's Digest version of your company story.
Awesome. Yeah. So I started my brand 2 years ago. And it was really the inspiration of I want to do my business. I want to have my clients and I want to build my culture, my ways to do things. I learned so many things after, 22 years of experience working for corporations. The other two is working with corporations. Yeah. So that was the 24 that I mentioned that. But, and it's wonderful. And my brand, what inspired me in my brand was really, how to connect people and helping them to work together. And the change environment is key element because, well, everybody's going through change nowadays, right? We all know that. But how we help people to keep motivated, keep engaged during so many transformations nowadays. And that's where the change management comes in place. I work with change management specifically for 12 years. And after all this time working projects and different clients, I realized and I adapted a new way to create change management. That's when I created my six-step framework.
That's incredible. Just really, now I'm curious. Do you mind sharing with us, what does that six-step framework? Wow. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. My golly. Do you mind sharing your six-step framework? I can talk, I promise. Uh, and what that really looks like if somebody were to start working with you.
Yes. So it's a speech, the name. So, and each letter means something, obviously. So the first one is a strategy. One of the key things about speech is in every single part of the process, there is somehow communication involved. I always emphasize it's very important. Let's over communicate. Let's be assertive and intentional on how we communicate, to whom we communicate, the kind of message needs to be communicated per audience and all that. So strategy. And then preparation planning, which is the P. Then we have engagement. So which is very important, right? In execution, because you keep, which actually is funny because engagement you keep doing when you do communication, but there is a phase that you need to be very intentional to engage people during the journey of transformation, right? Execution, and then the C for calibration, where you basically, okay, let me see where I am. Is that going right? Not. What are the key metrics? Let me hear from people. Let me get feedback and let me adjust, because we all know there's not such a thing as a perfect plan. We need to adapt, and to get buy-in from people. You hear your people, you adapt, you communicate well, and keep moving. And the last, which is the age, is uphold, how you sustain a change. Yes, because another will come and you need to be ready for the next one. So now how you keep things going the way it is after you get into some sort of what I call stability, if we may say, because we all also need some stability when you're working for a company, because all the time change, change, change. Okay, I understand. Then you build the culture, people, you really build this resilience mindset within your team. So
That's,
that's speech.
oh my gosh, I love that. Just like the idea of like, okay, first off, when change happens, communication is key. And I 1000% agree with you there, because if it doesn't, we let other things shape the narrative. So you do have to like speak up, use your speech, and like make change happen. Change on your terms. I think people have a choice. You can choose to let change happen to you, or you can choose to guide your change. And there has to be that strategic element. And I'm with you. I believe in strategy first. I believe in strategy first. Anybody who listens to this podcast knows at this point, I believe in strategy first, because otherwise, to your point, it just keeps getting guided by external forces if things are not communicated and strategized in a way that allows you to prepare for what's potentially going to come up. And y'all, none of us have crystal balls and can adequately predict the future. So that ability to being able to swerve, I think, is really important in your process. And I appreciate that you have it.
Absolutely. I agree with you said. And just to complement, I always say instead of being reactive, you are proactive when you have a good strategy. And you can play scenarios. It doesn't mean you have the crystal ball, but you can have the most likely scenarios and then be ready for that. So absolutely, that's really key.
It is. It absolutely is. So as you look, you had a really beautiful career of 22 years in a corporate setting, and then moved into doing this on your own, which I think many people can relate to that journey. Kamila, like that is generally how the folks that I work with, that is what they say happened, is like, you know what, it was just time to do it on my own own terms. My goodness. So let me know, what was a pivotal moment in your brand's journey that really defined where you are today, even including the time beforehand? Because your brand really started probably earlier than you signing on the dotted line that your business was open.
Yes. And I think it's very related to the fact that when I started to learn and execute change management strategies, I realized how important they can be to a success of any initiative or any transformation that happens. And it can be organizational changes and also can be personal changes. Because, by the way, even if I try to apply my method for my personal life, it's the same idea, right? You
Mm-hmm.
go through the steps and and even if you're going through massive change in your life as well, you have to have that strategy so clear in your mind, the purpose, because especially on hard times, this
Mm-hmm.
has to stick with you. So then you persist. Um, so that's a big motivation. And I think so many changes that happen in my life that I wish I had guidance before. I think a good example can be when I moved to the United States. It's been 12 years. So basically half of my career right now, it's here and the other half in South America. So I'm midterm. And I always dreamed since I was a little girl to move to the United States. It was something that, was strong in me. I asked my mom when I was 8, hey, I want to learn English. Neither of my parents knew how to speak
Oh,
English. And I want to know it. Ah, why? Well, because I want to understand these nice songs. That was kind of the idea. I was 8, right?
music.
But then I started to fall in love with the language and learn and all. And it's like, you know what? I want to see how it looks like another country and all. And I always target United States in my mind. So finally, I came here as expat. Again, it was the dream of my life since a little girl. And then, come on, change. Even though it was like my huge dream, there are things that, happen that changes you don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Can be good or bad because there's no such a perfect place. There are good things in one place and bad and vice versa. And so, but in that case, it's not even good and bad. It's like different. How do I deal with that? I wish someone could have helped me with some sort of framework to deal with that. So I think my passion about change management started probably about 12 years ago. And coincidence or not, when I started my job rotation program, when I moved to the United States by this chemical industry here, I started to be trained and work in projects related to change management. So yes, I think that's how the passion came. Even in my logo, which is like how you say oh my goodness, hexagon, so like 6 sides, right?
Mhm.
So basically, you want basically explain the 6 steps, but
Yeah.
also the connection in the different colors because you have diverse people, diverse background, right? All
Yeah.
working together, but it's so important to always keep connected in
Yeah.
that. There's no loose end. It's connected. So that was the inspiration for the logo as well, all related to good teamwork, good leadership during change.
That is amazing. And just thinking of the journey of coming to the States, because the United States is a big place. And I think sometimes people forget that in the world. I think those of us who live here forget that it's actually kind of a large place. Like
Mhm.
some states are the size of countries. And not every part of the United, it's like different worlds. I'm on the West Coast. I know you're kind of in the Midwest-ish, um, like towards the East Coast, and
Yeah.
they're not they're not the same. Like it almost feels different, even though we're in the exact same country. So, as you came to the United States, why did you decide to settle where you settled?
Well, at that point, I didn't have to do any homework or anything because the company headquarters was around here.
Okay.
So that was the place to go to work in the headquarters, honestly. And well, I love living here and I agree 100% with you how many differences we have in such a huge country as the United States. Same in Brazil. I can tell you, I lived in 3 different states in Brazil. The deep south, where I was born, southeast, which is São Paulo, the biggest city in,
Mhm.
I think, Latin America even, and then northeast of Brazil, Paraíba. 3 totally different cultures, uh, ways to, I mean, food, habits, accents, so
Yeah.
different. And I think, and you move around and you learn different ways, you kind of become, okay, it was funny because when I was living ultimately in Sao Paulo, which was the last state I lived before moving to the United States, people were telling me, Camila, you don't sound from South. You kind of a mix. I say, well, I think we are building up experiences and we sound, I think, citizens of the world. I think is much more like that. And I think it's beautiful because you just learn, experience, you do things, you change things that you think you just good for you. You don't change others, that you stick with it and you keep your journey. And moving here, yes, that was biggest the biggest change that I went through. Why? Because changing countries, changing even how to pay a bill, small
Oh,
things you
yeah.
change
Little
because
thing.
it's different. It's a different process for things, right? And obviously the language, which I think I knew. I thought I knew English until I moved here. And I also struggle a lot with this accent around this area.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to restaurants and looking, and they would say, "Okay, can you please point me in the menu what you're talking? Because I don't know."
Hear it.
So, stories like that. But I think we always take these challenges as learning, and is one of the important things we need to take for our personal and professional lives. Sometimes can be a little challenging. You learn and you grow. And when you look back, you're just proud that you went through all of that. And you're just thankful as well. So,
I love hearing stories of folks who have moved a lot because I too have moved a lot. And you
mhm.
just even saying the thing like paying bills is like different. When I was a little girl, I lived in Hawaii and I was also about 8. Fun fact. We were the
Mhm.
same age as when you decided you wanted to speak, like learn English. I was coming from an island where I had to learn Hawaiian, and even though it's not the primary language, but you have to learn it in school. And I remember coming back to the States as my parents got divorced, like the mainland, and I
Mhm.
remember going to a Burger King. I remember this so vividly. I went to a Burger King and I looked at the trash cans, and all the trash cans in Hawaii in all fast food places say mahalo because that means thank you in Hawaiian. And I got back to the mainland and I was like, Mom, why did the trash can say thank you in English? Like I was like actually really thrown off because I moved to Hawaii in kindergarten. So just like, you're learning how to read during those times and all those things. So most of the things I was always reading were not necessarily in English. And it's very interesting. I lived in a lot of states. One of our previous guests, Kamila, you actually might have a lot in common with. She's also she's a military wife, like I was a military kid. Just the idea that the three of us have moved so much and experienced change in a very interesting way, to the point that it shapes how we do business, because we can see strategically like why you have to move forward. Change is happening every second. The clock just moved in the time that we've been here. Change has happened. And so I think that part of your story is just so monumental and probably such an asset to the people that you help.
Thank you.
You're so. All right, I'm gonna switch gears on you, and I want to look at the future. Like you've had such an incredible past. Looking forward, what are your long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
Well, the one that I'm executing right now, it is building a podcast. So as we speak, I've been interviewing guests for the podcast, which is called Shift Happens.
Love it. Best name ever.
I love it too. I fell in love with the name as I, thought about it. And so in this podcast, I've been interviewing senior leaders, mostly C-level from $50 million revenue companies and up, how they've been managing change, how they keep the team together, what are the key skills, what have they learned with that, what are the challenges, and also it's been amazing, and I'm getting to know so many wise people in this way and connecting, and also starting to do businesses with some of them. So it's been an amazing journey. So I would say in my future, in my near future, I'm trying to increase leads and connections and network, trying to be more present in social medias, especially LinkedIn. I want to start YouTube very soon, hopefully. Not only through the podcast, but also through videos and more educative videos about leadership and change. What else? Also actively working on my website, trying to make it more professional. Because, my first website when I started was literally like, okay, I need to have a website. So I went there, log in and build something. And I'm a chemical engineer and in business, all the skills you imagine for a website. So, and that's where I am. I'm trying to be more present and thinking about strategies to increase my exposure and get more clients.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Whenever I think of like all those pieces, because I play with all those pieces on a daily basis, like a puzzle. The amount of puzzles I build in a day actually is starting to impress myself. But when you think of your podcast, and I just kind of want to talk about the back end of my process, which is extraordinary authority. I have a longstanding joke that I talk about it now on this podcast, but I never ever have it on my website since it's the last piece of the pie here. But like this idea of like how you take that and you and I have chatted about your website before, but like how you take your website and start to grow your authority and are in all the places while you can be handling your leads and working really closely with them, and getting that authority out there. So it's this ongoing process, because I really feel that if you build that marketing machine and then you're hands off, it's working for you versus that beautiful feeling of, I have to post today. I don't know what to post. I have to post today. I don't know what to post. And that's kind of an icky feeling, especially when the best parts are meeting with the people who are enjoyable, the people who drive up to hang out with you to get work done, the people who fly across the country to see you to get work done, to talk about change. I just think that there is a lot of benefit to creating an extraordinary authority machine. But your podcast, I mean, Kamila, your podcast has one of the best titles of all time. I can't even believe you got that title, by the way. Like the fact that nobody else has that is mind-boggling to me. And one of the best brand names, like, of all time. Just the play on word, it is going It's going to be epic. And then add that to a YouTube channel with that name. You're gonna see extraordinary growth. It's just inevitable at this point. How can you not with a name like Shift Happens? Like, how can you not?
Yes, and it's interesting when I was creating and I was, running many names through AI and running, and then no, oh, give me 30 more. No, 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 no. And then exactly one of the suggestions was shift, and another suggestion say, wait a minute. Put that together.
Marry them
And
together.
I love it too. Thank you for the feedback. I really
Of
appreciate
course.
it. Thank you for the encouragement and nice words. I mean, I'm so looking forward to that. And yes, I love the title. And in fact, I'm writing a book and I'm thinking about anything that I do from now on is going to be Shift Happens.
Oh my gosh, that's your big idea. That's your big idea. Like, you're gonna claim it on the internet. I can see it. It's, girl, you got this. I don't want anybody else to touch it. It's yours. You can have a whole
Thank you.
book that's like Shift Happens, how to get through change in whatever these times are. I don't even know what to call these. History books are going to be interesting in about 20 years, but it's going to be incredible.
Thank you.
You're going to be famous. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm claiming that for you.
I'm famous here right now with you. Come on.
Thank you. You know what's funny is I too went on this like big rampage down. I think we could compare our AI chats of trying to come up with podcast names, because I remember just being like, no, awful, terrible, no, ugh, what is that? No. It was like, you're not helping me.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because sometimes I run things through AI. And in the beginning, I was very skeptical. Like,
Yep.
I don't know, it's so robotic or whatever I was naming back on those days. But I can tell you one thing about AI in me. It inspires me. It's almost like, have you been to these brainstorming sessions when you are like these big groups trying to do something different, trying to implement a new process, things like that? Well, I've done many of those in my past. I was attending and I was leading this kind of workshops. And you start the brainstorm. And really the brainstorm is like get all these different people and pick a topic and you just say anything, any word that comes into your mind, no filters, because that's how the good creativity comes. And to me, AI has been that. It's like, okay, name this. And then I always ask for many options. I kind of read, and then I start getting inspired. So that's exactly what happened.
Oh my gosh. I love that you also use yours as a think partner. I talk all the time about the fact that like, it's not doing things for you. Yes, it can, but like, we're humans and we have creative ideas, and it's a think partner to start sorting out our ideas. Like, case in point. And that's why we can tell who uses it and who doesn't use it. And if somebody can't tell that you're using it and you are, it means you have figured it out. Like, you have figured it out.
Exactly.
So I love it. I think that it also just helps organize thought, and that's pretty spectacular. So next, second to last question, third to last question, actually. I got this. I can count. As you're looking at the podcast, you're adding your YouTube strategy and all those pieces to the pie. How is your marketing strategy going to adapt to support this new brand growth?
That's a great question, and I'm still trying to figure out as I go. Because honestly, and I think I was sharing with you before, I'm now trying to get feedback on different offers.
Yeah.
So far, well, since I started my business, it was literally like that. I've been providing services to clients based off word of mouth.
Okay.
It has been great. People that know me, people that know someone that knows me, referrals, things like that. And then I meet with the client and I say, okay, what are the issues here? What do we need to solve? And then I come up with a customized offer, which I think is great. It works nice and it's been great results. But also to scale up a business, I need to come up with some standardized offers, which always we can adapt with coaching calls and all different ways where you can also customize, but have some sort of standardization in the process.
Yes.
So that's where I am right now. And probably after that, I need to figure out the marketing part. But what I have right now to share with you is I'm building a plan around in terms of how many newsletters, so like probably 2 newsletters a month,
Okay.
because I am a solopreneur. I need to do as much as I can. So, newsletters, of course, the website done hopefully by the end of this month. And I want to have that like a blog, promote the podcast, 2 to 3 LinkedIn posts per week, YouTube probably one per week. So things like that. That's overall what is my marketing strategy right now, to be honest with you. A lot still to, make it better.
A lot to hold. And I think, as we get to know each other, I can help you get some of those things off of your plate because
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've been there. It is so much to like hold on to doing all the things. And as a solopreneur, it's also your ideas are like your babies. I mean, kind of, sort of. I love saying that and I hate saying that because you and I both have little kids. And so it's like the same, but not the same. Um, my ideas don't talk back to me, but it's very interesting how to strategize to get that off of your plate, but also have it constantly going, right? Of this
Mm-hmm.
concept of, okay, I know I have to do a newsletter, but like I have to help this person, but I also have like 500 proposals that have to go out the door and I've got to follow up with all these people. And there's ways that you can tackle it as a solopreneur. There's times where we need to hire people, but there's definitely systems that can be put in place to take a lot of it off of your plate or to build it and be done with it. So definitely exciting things for you in the pipeline. But once you have those systems down, it's off to the races. It's a
Yes.
book. It's being like my girlfriend who just was on some show in New York and like because of her book, like you're off to the races. It's happening tomorrow. I promise.
I'm looking forward to that. Yes, and definitely we are going to talk more about that in the future.
You're going to have so much fun. I can't even wait. So, my last two fun questions for you. And the first one is, what does a luxurious day look like for you?
Hmm. The first thing that comes into my mind is to go to a wonderful tropical beach and probably half of a day of a spa massage taking care of me and all. The other half just relaxing, reading a good book, listening to the sound of the sea. To me, that is just perfect day for me.
Oh my gosh, are we the same person?
There you go.
I
We found one more thing in common. Strategic. We love beaches and spas and all. There you go.
I literally could just be in a room with the whole windows open, listening to the beach and reading a book, and that's it. Like I might make my way to the patio, maybe, but
Maybe. I hear
maybe.
you.
But the covers sound so nice. So,
Yes.
oh my
Yes.
gosh, that sounds beautiful. All right, last one, best one. My favorite question. If you could summarize your business purpose in one word, what would it be?
Transformation.
Transformation. A beautiful word. I love it. So, transformation. Why?
Because I think we are, with all the things that happen, many of them we are not under control. Like we just mentioned AI and any other things, I don't know, politics, things that are not really under our control.
Mm.
And we live in a system, we live in a society, and things happen, right? Shift happens, right?
Shift
So
happens.
there you go. Here you go. See. Um, so I feel like we need to reinvent ourselves in many ways. We also need to transform or reinvent ourselves in the different roles we play in life, as a
Yeah.
wife, as a mom, as a professional, as getting ready for my spa day and question the previous
Oh my gosh,
question.
we're doing it.
Yes, and we play different roles and we are transforming, and we also need to be willing to learn and see the good things and make adjustments. Let me tell you, you are also a mom. How many things that you learn with your kid?
So many.
It's just amazing. They just bring such a different, beautiful, naive perspective that I look as like, oh, I wish I would see things like that. But wait a moment. maybe I can see things like that too. Thank you. So it's really transforming for good every day through the different roles we play and through the different things that happen with you and in life.
Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. And thank you for sharing everything that you shared today. You were such an incredible guest. I'm really, really grateful that you were able to share your story with us and make time. Um, you have so many amazing things headed your way. I can just
Thank you so
tell.
much.
You're so welcome. Because shift happens
Shift happens.
and we have to transform. So thank you to everybody who took time out of their day to listen to our chat about making the Luxe Leap and big, bold moves for your brand. We couldn't have a show without you. So appreciate all of you for listening. If you are interested in working with Kamila or myself, our details will definitely be in the show notes. Kamila, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
On LinkedIn, I have my page and I'll share with you. And also my page that very soon is going to be online with a new face, toneupbusiness.com.
I love it. All right, y'all. You heard it from her. You can find her on toneupbusiness.com. It will most likely be up by the time you hear this podcast. And finding her on LinkedIn. All the details will be in the show notes. If you would like to work with me and you'd like an audit of your website, go ahead and click on the link below that tells you about Brand Extraordinary, or you can take a really fun quiz to see where you need to start working on your brand right now with the Brand Litmus Test. Otherwise, we hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.